Hey everybody, welcome to another Rob review. Is that what I'm going to call it now? Nah. But anyways, one of my kids' favorite games of all time is a game that probably most of you can't stand. And it's Talisman. They love Talisman. It's their most favorite game of all time. And when they heard that Cataclysm was coming out, well, you knew for sure that I was going to get my hands on it. And today, we're going to be taking a look at Talisman Cataclysm. Is it good? Is it better? Does it stack up? Well, I guess there's only one way to find out. Let's go to the table. As you can see, we have a whole new board here, and it definitely changes some of the things that are going on. Now, the whole story is that this is in the future and that there's ways to go back into the past, but this is a decimated future after destruction of all the land. And it's actually a very, very cool board. It has some different things. You know, if you're used to playing this game, like the graveyard, it doesn't heal you if you're evil anymore. You just lose a life if you're good. And there's no some of the towns are just not there to help anymore. All the resources are just gone for it. You have to do everything through the cards and stuff like that. And it's a very, very dark thing. You still have the Guardian, the Sentinel that you can go up through. And of course, you're able to try to find boats and stuff like that cross over the river. You can add the expansions, and they work pretty well with the game. So it adds... This gives you a nice different field, and the cards, which I would show you some of the cards, but I think I would spoil it for some of you, and showing you some of the events and things that can happen, because when we were, the best part about it was turning it over and just realizing how many things that are there that you don't know and you're unfamiliar with, and that really adds a different dynamic to the game. Some of the characters are just really, really cool, and then some of them, well, let's be honest, they could do without. This guy here I played, which is the Black Knight, and he's okay. His one ability here is that if you get into a space with him, you have to give him a gold, or if you don't want to fight and you're being passive, well, you have to give him a gold or you're going to lose a life anyways. So you're just better off fighting him, and that's really not too much of a great ability. Another person is the Sage. He's pretty good. He begins with one spell. When you roll the die for your move, you may ignore the result of your first die roll and roll again. So that's not it's a pretty good ability. He has 2 strength and 2 craft. It comes with a Knight, which is pretty good. A Barbarian, which was in the original game by Games Workshop, so I'm kind of glad to see him come back. The Scavenger, he's actually pretty good. I'll let you guys discover that. The Arcane guy here, he's okay. They really, really like the Mutant, because you can take a life away and roll on this chart, and you can start gaining strength and different things depending on the rolls. So it's a pretty good ability. The Merchant is really good. And then finally, which the character that I think is just OP, and that's what the kid said, is this Dark Cultist. Every time you kill an enemy, you roll on this chart, but nothing bad happens when you roll on this chart, which is unusual, because in this game, 99% of the time when you roll, you have a good chance of something bad happen to you on the cards. I'll tell you that much. But you can gain a fate, gain a gold, but then, that's for 1 and 2. But if you're rolling your common numbers like 3, 4, and 5, you can gain a craft and a strength. So every time you kill an enemy, you can end up gaining strength on top of the fact of trading in the cards and getting abilities as well. It's really, really, she gets pumped up real quick, and having to deal with her was not fun. And guess who played her? Mimi, of course. Now, in the middle, of course, there's these cards here. And this one here we played, and I have to say that it almost felt like this was broken. That's the only bad thing that I can really say about this game. I mean, we really enjoyed it, but this one here, there's only one talisman in the whole game. So every time you have a chance to get a talisman, if somebody else has the talisman, you would just take it from them. So if you're on a quest, you can hold on to your quest, trade in your quest at any time. So if somebody goes through all this area and then just take the talisman. So it's almost like the game won't end. These other ones, the Land of Wonder is pretty good. I don't want to spoil too much for you. Cult of the Dam is actually all right. And the Eternal Crown we really enjoyed. We thought that was a lot of fun too. So that's pretty much it for all the new stuff. I have to say, having a new board breathes a little life into this game. It really, really, really does. And, you know, there's really some neat areas and some things that they made some adjustment to. So, you know, and they made it good enough where that if you put the other expansions around it, you really don't lose the feel of the game with it. So, let's go up top and get my final thoughts on Talisman Cataclysm. Cataclysm. Well, what can I say about it? It adds a lot, and the thing that I really like the most about it, and this is from my perspective, because my kids like to play magic users, and I just like to be a big dumb fighter and go around and kill stuff. Well, one of the things I liked in all the deck of cards and spells and stuff, there wasn't anything to turn you into a frog. Now, a lot of people like that and think that's like a great aspect of this game. But the thing that I really liked was it took that dimension out, because I was always panicking trying to get my spell points up so I can try to find a counter spell in case somebody got the I'm going to turn you into a frog spell. And that, for me, always used to dim the game. This is a very hard game, and it's unforgiving, and a lot of bad things happen to you. There's not a lot of good stuff that happens. I liked a lot of the things. I liked the talisman quest, but the kids didn't really like it that much, because when it became a point where we were just stuck in the game and somebody would go on a quest, get the talisman and rip it from the other person's hand. And that's what the end game was. Whoever was able to get there, whenever it said to get a talisman, you would actually take the talisman from the other person. So there was only one talisman in the game. That was not a great ending. The other endings are pretty cool, and we've had some fun with it. It's unforgiving. You can play it without adding any other boards and have a different experience. And the kids really liked it, and they liked some of the characters. The Black Knight, I didn't care for, but they really liked the Dark Priestess and the Mutant, the Mutation. They really thought that was a fun thing. So for us, we really liked this game. So I've got to give this game an 8 out of 10. It fits in with the rest of our stuff, and I think we can work all the other stuff in and not have too much problem. We were able to add in the Reaper, which they love the Reaper in the game, and you could add the cities and stuff like that, and it really doesn't take away from the experience of the new board. So there you go. That's Talisman. So until next time, I'm Rob Warren, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.